everybody, welcome to my channel. This is Slangy. Today we are doing a natural finish makeup look, and if you'd like to know how I achieved this look, do stick around. Please don't forget to like, comment, as well as subscribe. Thank you. So what's really important in achieving a natural look finish is making sure that your skin is well prepped and your face is well hydrated and moisturized. So I did that. I used my Switch Beauty Superhero Spray as my toner because the other toners that I use usually burn my face, and as a result causing me to have hyperpigmentation. As you can see, okay, on the camera it's really blurred out, but in most cases that's what I struggle with. So I've done that. I've put niacinamide and then put in my sunscreen as well. So what I'm going to do now is put eye cream. My eye cream is from Neutrogena Hydro Boost. I'm just going to dab it like this and then put it right on my under eye like so. The next step from here will be blotting out the excess oils on my face using tissue. I use a 2-ply tissue because I just feel like it's more softer on my face. So the reason for that is to minimize any excess shine which we don't need. I'm just going to take 2 pots like this, fold them into half, and then lightly dab, especially on the nose, because this is where I get a lot of shine and oil. I'm combination oily, so my T-zone is very oily. I'm done with that step, so now I'm going to use my primer. So with a primer, you're only going to put it in problematic areas. So for me, like I've mentioned, it's on my T-zone. This is a mattifying primer from Bobbi Brown. It's called Primer Plus Mattifier. So I'm just going to use a little, put it here by my nose where I'll usually get too much sebum, and then just put it just here where shine appears. Before we move into foundation, I'm going to go in with my Switch Beauty Superhero Spray. So I'm just going to spray it and giving your face a young massage before we go in with everything else. Now, going in with the foundation, you need to make sure that the foundation shade matches your skin perfectly, because at the end of the day, we want this to look like natural skin. So I'm going to be mixing my L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation. This is deep golden. As you can see, it has a yellow undertone. So I can't use this on its own because it's slightly lighter and it's too yellowy. So I'm going to tone it down with the Yardley Stay Fast foundation. This is combination to oily. It's perfect for my skin condition, and this is in the shade D2N. It sits on my face perfectly. Oh my god, perfect. I'll highly recommend that you get either of these foundations. I'm going to pump this one. It looks like that. L'Oreal Infallible, I'm going to do that. So you see the other one is more orangish yellowish. So what's important when you're mixing foundation shades is if you're warm undertones, so your yellows and stuff like that, it works best because here the other one, the one from Yardley, is a neutral undertone, and then the L'Oreal Infallible one is warm, so it keeps that warmness without exaggerating it. So that's one tip that I could give. Alternatively, just make sure that you're blending 2 shades of the same undertone. So this is how it looks like now. Then I'm going to use a beauty blender. I've already made it wet, as you can see, and I'm going to apply it like so. This is the excess on the cotton bud. So before I continue, I'm just going to lightly fill here with concealer. This is where I have hyperpigmentation. Okay. Alternatively, you can use an orange corrector, and I'm just going to dab this in there so that when I blend the foundation, I don't use too much product, trying to cover up the areas which have hyperpigmentation. that is done, I am going to go in and blend the foundation in light layers. I'm just basically building it up. So I'm putting in, as you can see, that's the coverage so far. I'm just going to blend out on the rest of the other side. As you notice, I'm not focusing on the forehead. The forehead, I'm going to put excess that will be on the beauty blender, because I don't want it to have too much coverage. And look at how the skin is already glowing because we've prepped the face properly. So I'm blending it out to my ear so that everything looks seamless and it's one shade, and then blending it down to the neck. So now I'm taking the excess that I had and putting it on my forehead. This is the glow coming out and it looks stunning. It feels lightweight, it feels good on the face, it feels amazing. Natural looking makeup looks work well with cream products. So from here we're going to use a cream contouring palette, L.AGirl Pro Contour. This is in the shade Deep. It's more for people with warm undertones really. So what I'm going to do, when you contour, you usually take it from here, use this as a guide. So where your ear is at, take it and drop it and use that as a guide to where you're going to contour. I'm going to use my beauty blender. This is going to make sure that it's more seamless because it still has foundation product in it. So it's not going to make it too harsh, and it's going to blend it in nicely. So as you notice, I'm using this side so that it's easy to create that nice contour. I think you can see it on the camera how it's looking. As my contour right now, it's looking like that. I'm just going to put this at the top of my forehead to create a seamless dimension. So I'm just going to dab in there at the edge of the forehead. For my concealer, I'll be using 2 concealers. The reason behind this is I need to highlight the under eye as well as create a dimension change. So on the cheek, it will be a different shade of concealer. This is more warm and it has some orangish undertone. So I'm just going to put it slightly down here in that motion because that's where I need it to be placed. Then I'll just do that on the other side. So you notice I'm putting it in the direction of where I would put my blush. Okay. And then put it over there on the thingy. So this is from L.AGirl and it's in the shade Fawn. It's so funny because sometimes their fawn is more yellow and then sometimes it's just not too yellow, and then you're just there like, what's going on? So lightly put it there. Okay, so there we have our concealers right now. I'm going to blend them using the other side of the beauty blender. I'm starting at the top with the yellow one, and then I'm just dragging it up, leaving it somewhere here. I don't want it to create a snatched thingy. And then I'm bringing this in to cut the nose bridge in that position so that I don't have to contour. When I'm done with this, I'll just leave my nose like that. It will look contoured. So there is our highlighter. Bringing it into the eye like that. So this is how this looks. Remember, we had our contour over there, so this is how it looks right now. So I'm doing the same on the other side. So with this look, you need to remember that you are not baking. I'm just going to take a clean brush. This is the Revlon Candid Photo Ready Oh Jesus. Woo, woo, woo. Phonto Ready powders, and this is in the number 2. So I'm using number 2 because it's slightly yellower and it's going to highlight even further. So I'm going to dab it in on my under eye and set the concealer that I have put in. This is me doing so. So everywhere where I have put concealer, I am setting it with this powder, and I'm going to go in with another powder to set the overall face. I'm just taking the powder, making sure that everything is set and nice. I'm going on my eyelid because remember I've put concealer there. So that's what I'm going to do. Right now I'm going to put in blush. It's from L.AGirl. It's this orange and it's in the shade Just for Fun. So I'm just going to dab slightly and then put it on my cheek. I don't want it to be a lot. I just want my cheek to have a flash of that orange. Some people will just leave it as is and not put blush at all because blush gives off that illusion where someone can see that you've done something. But I love having a young flash of color on my cheeks, so this is how this side is looking. To set the rest of my face, I'm going to be using the Matte Bounce powder from Switch Beauty. We'll go in and set everything so it will melt into whatever color you have and take on that color. I'm just going to finish off the rest of the face that didn't have powder and make sure that everything is set. For my brows, the Switch Beauty Beach Brow, this is in the shade 0, so it's clear. So what this does is it shapes the brows as well as sets them. A brow brush to brush them up in that direction, and then go in with the beach brow. To give the brows dimension, I'm going to be using my Switch Beauty Your Go-To Brow Kit, and it looks like this. It's powder. I love using powder these days because I just feel like it sets the brows nicely. I'll be using the second shade here, so this brown. So a tip for me here is if you have dark brows, don't go for a dark shade just because your brows are dark. It's going to make them look even more darker. So go with a shade slightly lighter than what your brow looks like. So right now I'm just, as you can see, I'm just following the natural direction because it's already been set. So I'm just following the natural direction that we achieved with the beach brow. So follow the hairs. Right. Before we set everything, we'll be putting in eyeshadow. So with eyeshadow, you're going to go with colors or shades that look or mimic your natural eyelid. So I'm going to be using this Hermosa Flow White Lily palette. I'm going to use Angel on my eyelid because it's close to the color of my lid, and I need to keep that warmness. Remember that you need to keep the warmness and the same shade. So you don't want things that will be too out of the overall look. I'm not using a transitioning color because I've set the concealer when I was setting the rest of the face. So for dimension on the brow bone there, I'm going to go in with Chastity. Chastity is this dark color, and I'm going to dab it lightly because I just needed to create dimension, and I'm going to pack it there where there's the brow bone and then blend it out. So on the arch over here, I'm gonna go back with Angel again and then blend out Chastity, the darker shade that I have used. I'm going to go in and do the lashes. I'm going to take this side of this brush and then brush my lashes up. I'm not going to put liner because I don't want the eyes to be too dramatic. So the mascara is going to help give dimension. I'll be using the L'Oreal Paris Ecstatic Mascara. So the lips, the key is to look at the natural color of your lips and pick glosses that will go in with that. I'm going to line my lips with the Essence Long Lasting Eyeliner. This is in the shade Hot Chocolate. I'm going to be taking this Essence Shine Look Lip Gloss. I forgot what color it is, so I'm using this because I need this brush. So I'm going to pull down the color of the liner so that it's not a harsh brown. I'm gonna go in with the Smudge Lip Gloss, and it's a rich pink orange. It doesn't have a name. Oh, it's called Sea Coral. So I'm gonna go in with Sea Coral and distribute everything to the rest of the lip. To set my face, I'll be using the Maybelline Lasting Fix setting spray. So now to highlight my nose, go back with the Hermosa Floor White Lily palette and choose the shade Putty. So I'm just going to put it at the top of my nose, going to put it there, and then at the bridge. And then dab everything in.